Welcome back to In the Black Budget. I am your budget bestie, Aisha. I am a mom to two wonderful little guys, and I started In the Black Budget to get my finances back in order after divorce and surviving abuse. I am a financial abuse survivor, and I would like to bring awareness to financial abuse and rebuilding afterwards. So, a company is said to be in the black if they are profitable, and I believe that we are all able to have stable financial futures and be in the black finally. This channel is designed to get you in the black and also to be able to break down complex financial concepts into easy to follow steps, simple like black and white. So, hey, budget besties. This is my first time on camera here on this channel, and I thought about this topic a while ago. I mean, it's one of the main reasons why I even started in the black budget in the first place. And, talking about understanding and overcoming financial abuse is so intimate and so personal of my own story that I was like, I have to do this on camera. So I have my paper here because when something's very personal, it's hard to just talk and talk and talk. And you feel like you're just rambling, but I want to be able to get out all the clear points. So I do have my trusty paper here with me. So this video is going to be set up so that you can know the signs of financial abuse, also to break free from its grip, its draining grip, and also how to reclaim your financial independence. I'm still in the process of doing it myself. Being financially abused for almost 8 years, it takes a toll on you. Being in a situation for 28 days causes a habit. So can you imagine someone working on you for 8 years of your resources? It's it's hard, but it's possible, to get out of. So I just want to go ahead, first of all, explain what is financial abuse. So financial abuse occurs when someone has to exert control over another person's financial resources, restricting their access to money and financial decision making. It's a form of power and control that can leave victims feeling trapped and powerless. I cannot speak enough on the hopelessness that comes when you are busting your butt, working countless hours, every single day, being away from your children, being away from things that you love and like to do, just to have, when your money is deposited, someone else just decides they're going to do what they want to do with it and not discuss it with you. Or someone decides they're just going to constantly change your mind on things that needs to be met in order for their wants to be handled first. There is an intersection between financial abuse and emotional and physical abuse. Um, Financial abuse usually starts with the mental and emotional to get you out of making decisions for yourself, and always steering you towards what they want, what they need, what's priority, what we should be focusing on. And usually that list that's starting to be compiled does not include anything that you need, that you want. Little by little, everything that you need and want gets chipped away in order to fulfill what they would like to have. To the point that you don't even realize it, that you're waking up, living, breathing, and working towards fulfilling someone else's needs and wants before even looking at your needs. And that's where the abuse comes in. There are different forms. So you could be a person such as me. I was the breadwinner for the majority of my marriage. And even though I was the breadwinner for the majority of my marriage, I was still not doing anything to fulfill myself. The money that I brought into the marriage was being squandered by my ex-spouse so he could buy toys, literally toys. There's a particular Marvel character that he has been obsessed with since the day I met him. And he still is success with this Marvel character. So instead of us putting money towards paying off debt, instead of us putting money towards a savings or emergency fund, the money that was left over in the account was going towards buying toys of a Marvel superhero so that he could look at them and hold them. So there was no saving for a rainy day. There was no putting away money for the children for their college fund. There was no paying off credit card debt. There was no personal loan debt. There was no paying off student loans that I had. There was no paying off the mortgage because every extra dollar that came into the house was allocated towards his wants, more than likely towards this Marvel superhero or towards computer things that he wanted to buy or photography equipment that he wanted to have. Didn't bring anything out of it. There was always, oh, well, I need this in order to do this, or I need this in order to do that. Nothing really came out of it ever. But when it came up, oh, well, we can do dining room table. This one's kind of get raggedy and it's wobbly, and I think we need to get something, for the kids. Oh, we don't need a new dining room table. Why are you wasting money on things? I mean, it got to the point where if I spent an inkling of money myself, it was like, oh, you should do that. You should do something for yourself. But then when I would do it, I would be caught with how much that cost. That cost a lot of money, didn't it? But you spent thousands and thousands of dollars on toys. Toys. Not even a good kind. Toys. A Marvel character was more important than the stability of the household. So some of the signs. So recognizing the signs. That's essential to protect yourself and your financial well-being. The red flags, and believe me, now that I look back, them red flags was flagging. You hear me? Those red flags was flagging so much that I'm like, you had them blue blockers on. You weren't paying attention to nothing. But after you've been mentally, emotionally, and financially abused for so long, unfortunately, you just disassociate. You just disassociate from the situation. You disassociate morning, noon, and night. Okay? In order to survive to the next day. In order to survive to passing out wherever you may lay and fall asleep. I just wanted to say some of the things. First of all, is monitoring and controlling spending. I had to be the one who was responsible for the finances because if not, the account would have been in the negative all the time because, you have someone who's trying to hold the money there so we could allocate it towards actual responsibilities versus someone who just wanted to buy toys, who wanted to send money to family. Like we had it like that. We did not have it like that. He may have thought we had it like that because he wasn't on top of the finances. So I'm constantly robbing Paul to pay Peter. And it shouldn't have been that way based off of the earning ability and the cost of living that we were in. But it was like we were constantly struggling, or we were constantly just making it by. And I hated that feeling. Like I'm a Taurus, stability is my thing. Personal finance is my thing. It has always been. So being in a situation where my finances, I've made bad decisions financially. So don't think I'm perfect when it comes to that. But I have a very good sense of what needs to be done and how it needs to be done when it comes to finances. And when you end up sharing your life as well as your financial health with someone who has poor financial health and has never really had anything in life prior to you, it is one of the most stressful things. And I get why majority of divorces are based on finances, because you have to be equally yoked. Like you need to be equally yoked on so many things, not just spiritually, not just physically. Can't have a very health conscious person with a slob. You can't have someone who is constantly working to build themselves up mentally and emotionally with someone who's an abuser. It's like counterproductive. Like having a gym rat with someone who just wants to be a couch potato. Is it possible? Yeah, it is possible. I feel like it just makes things a lot tougher than it needs to be, and marriage is already tough in the first place. Or I wouldn't even say tough. Marriage to the wrong person can be tough. And just having two adults making decisions on almost everything together. You're going to have a difference of opinion. But when you have like-minded people, or, you know, people who are willing to compromise, it just makes it a little bit easier and more productive. But some of the red signs are, controlling your spending, monitoring your spending, withholding access to financial resources, or in my case, taking those financial resources so I do not have access to them because they're already spent. Sabotaging your efforts to earn or save money. So this could be an example of someone trying to sabotage your employment opportunities. People change. People change, and sometimes people just finally show you who they've been the entire time, and you just don't find out until it's too late. So, people will try to keep you from having a job, having money, so that you feel trapped and you can't leave. You have to stay there. You don't have anywhere else to go. You don't have any resources. You don't have benefits. You don't have a retirement plan. So they may make you miss a doctor, make you miss an interview, by sticking the kids with you. You said, I have to be gone by this time in order to get this interview. Okay, cool, fine. The day of the interview, they're nowhere to be found. They leave out early. Now you can't take your kid to the interview. Now you're kind of like stuck in this situation. Or it could be a situation where they tell you that, you do get the job, you make the interview, you get the job, but now you don't have childcare during those hours, even though before they said they would be able to figure something out with you to be able to watch your children while you go and work. Now you keep calling off, you keep missing work, you get fired. So situations like that, or they may keep you up all night long. A friend of mine dealt with this with her ex-husband, and he will talk to her constantly throughout the night. She's exhausted. She's tired. She's a business owner. She's working a job on the side. She just wants to get some rest. But he has something on his mind that he needs to discuss with her. So he would just talk and talk and talk, keeping her up 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning just to talk. And if she would fall asleep, then he would just have an outburst, because she wasn't paying attention to him. Then what happens? Most people, you're going to get that rest somehow, some way. If it's at work, if it's sleeping and missing work, or you're not as productive as you need to be, now you're missing performance targets at your job, and that negatively impacts your ability to move up and to have more resources on your side. So those are some of the signs. Also, how you can break free and seek help. Now, this is essential because sometimes you don't find out that you need the help until, unfortunately, it's kind of, in my situation, a little bit die situation. Um, if you suspect you're experiencing financial abuse, know that you are not alone. That's why I wanted to start in the Black budget, so that people could realize that financial abuse is real. It really is. And there are more of us out there probably willing to admit, because it is shameful. When you have been a victim of abuse, it's a shame that the victim carries the shame of the abuser. 'Cause guess what? Abusers don't have shame. They do not. They could care less about anybody's opinion of them, because more than likely you have to be a really shitty person to be an abuser and soulless. So where is their shame? There's nowhere for shame to go. I don't have a soul, you know. Um, but there is help available, Please send me an email if you have a situation where you're not sure if you're going through financial abuse, or you're going through financial abuse and you just have someone to talk to. Make sure you comment below, or you can send me an email in the blackbudget@gmail.com. I always include it in the notes above. So just know that you are not alone, and I'm here to listen. I may not be able to give you every single step you need to have, but if I could give you hope, then believe me, that's enough. At least you know hope, and also somebody who believes you and what you're going through. That's another thing. A lot of the reason abuse victims don't come out because they're afraid that no one's going to believe them. Oh, the world we live in. you know, some of the steps you could use to break free from financial abuse and seek support from trusted things they're very actionable steps. Reach out to a trusted friend, not a mutual friend, not someone who's going to run to your spouse or partner and let them know what you said. So what's going on? Because so-and-so told me this. Like, you don't want to talk to her. Don't run to his mama. Don't run to her mama. Don't run to their parents. Do not talk to anyone who has connections or a relationship with that person. It needs somebody that is your friend only, or somebody who has let you know, look, I'm your friend. I love your spouse because that's your spouse and I love you, but I'm your friend. A family member, or a counselor for help. If you're in therapy, go ahead and talk to your therapist about it. Because when you have been a victim of abuse, it is very easy to doubt yourself and what your experience is, because that's what your abuser has been doing, making you feel as if you're just being emotional for no reason, make you feel like you're making these things up, gaslighting you. So talking to somebody that you trust and bouncing off of them your situation could allow you to have the validation that you need, that I'm not crazy, even though this person is trying to make me feel like it. I am. I want you to create a safety plan to protect yourself and your finances. You need to go through and get all of your resources. How much money you make, how much money comes in after taxes into your account if you have a job, how much money you have in your savings, how much debt you have in your name or in your household, how much money goes out towards that debt out of this fund. Out of your paycheck every 2 weeks. How much money is left over at the end of the month? So you have your income minus your expenses plus your savings. What does that amount to? Also, does this other person have access to those accounts? Do you have access to every account that your name is on? You have to think about that as well. Like, do you have access to the online banking account? Or do you have to go into the bank to go talk to a teller to get access to it? Can you change the password? Like, you should have access to anywhere your money is going to. If not, huge, huge red flag. Seek assistance. There are organizations and resources. There are shelters that will actually help women get a hold of their financial situation if you are being blocked out by your partner. And they help survivors. Domestic violence shelters also help with financial abuse as well. And once again, if I can help, please let me know. intheblackbudget@gmail.com. So once you made those steps of trying to figure out what your financial health is, I want you to realize that it is possible for you to reclaim your financial independence, just like I'm currently in the process of doing. You reclaim your financial independence is very empowering. I remember going through all the accounts and everything and figuring out what I needed to do and how much I needed to have in order for myself and my boys to be fine financially on our own, and having a game plan. That's one of the main things, having a game plan. Um, After you take back control of your finances. I want us to discuss like some practical strategies and tools to rebuild your financial security and confidence. One of the main things is establishing a separate bank account in your name only. Your name only. Do not tell the other person that you are doing this. If abuse, one thing I know about abusers, they do not like being the last to the party, okay? Or information. Do not tell them that you're about to open an account on your own. Keep that to yourself. You need to create a budget. Like I mentioned before, how much money do I need in order for me and my boys to be okay? How much money do you need in order for you to be okay if you're single, or if you and your children need to be okay, you and your pet need to be okay? Figure that out. Income, what are your expenses? Do you have access to any of the savings? If so, how much is it? Um, and then also, what are your goals? When you're a survivor of abuse, having long-term goals are scary. For me, you know, thinking about anything past 6 months is kind of like so far away because you're still dealing with just being in survival mode for so long. But short-term goals, 3-month goals, 6-month goals are definitely my sweet spot. For me, it gives me room to give myself grace if I do have some slip ups, because you're going to have some slip ups. Everything's not going to be all peachy and perfect after controlling your finances again. You're going to make some decisions that may not be the best because there is emotion attached to how we spend our money. And being abused and being a survivor of abuse, very, you make decisions that you get angry with yourself. You are probably already angry with yourself because you, in your mind, you believe you allowed yourself to be abused. And that's not the truth because, they don't come with warning labels. They don't come with these warning labels that I'm going to abuse you. You okay with that? You okay with crying 3 or 4 times a week? Are you okay with not having access to the money that you work hard for every day? Are you fine? It's not an interview process with the abusers. No, they sneak up on you, okay, with their bullshit. And but once you find yourself in that situation and you know it's time for you to go, there's nothing positive for staying there. Go. But you need a game plan. And you need to be quiet. You need to be silent. There's nothing more powerful than moving in silence. Believe me. There is nothing more powerful than moving in silence, especially in this situation of surviving abuse. I want you to. One of the main reasons that you're watching this right now is, investing in financial education. YouTube is a great source for free education on how you could get yourself out of this situation. Because sometimes you don't even know you're in it until someone mentions some things that sound familiar to you, and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh my god, that sounds like my situation. Oh my god, he does that too. Oh my god." And then all of a sudden, boom, you realize this is more alarming than I couldn't feel because I disassociated so much. But yeah, and investing in financial education such as YouTube, TikTok, talking to those resources at those domestic violence shelters will definitely help you out. And being empowered. Being empowered is very important when you're in a situation. That's why it's very good to have someone very close to you that you could trust, that you know has your well being number one as priority for them. Um, some of the things that you could do to empower yourself. One thing that was very important to me after filing for divorce from my ex-spouse was knowing that I no longer have to worry about where the money was going. I knew exactly where every dollar and every cent was going from that moment on because he no longer had access to my resources. I no longer had to carry him on my medical health insurance, pay money that I work so hard for to make sure that his health is fine, but he could care less about mine. Also, I no longer had to be responsible for his compulsive shopping, his, you know, immature financial decisions, and figuring out how we're going to pay actual bills, that necessities like utilities and food and transportation and childcare, because he wanted to go buy toys, or he wanted to go buy computer stuff, or because he wanted to have an extra day on vacation that cost I don't know how many thousands of dollars to change flights around and everything else. So it was like dealing with a big kid. I like to call him my eldest because I raised him. All right, didn't know anything about nothing, and don't want to be with another child again, another grown boy. Building a strong support network of trusted allies is very, very important. I believe that my situation isn't very unique. When you have been a victim of abuse and then you finally come out and tell your family and friends what you were suffering through for so many years, that you try to cover it up because you were hoping and praying this person would change and be better, and they never did. They actually got worse. It's the shame of that first and feeling so alone because you're afraid to let people know what's going on. But then when you finally share, it's kind of like, avalanche information that people are like, wait, you were going through this and you never said anything to us? We didn't know. Oh my goodness, I feel so sorry that you were going through this. Um, it's great because you do get to build a support network. It's just be patient because that's a lot of information somebody take on who loves you about what was happening, but you need to get it out. They're gonna be all right. Okay. It didn't happen to them, but get it out. Educating yourself about personal finance, learning the building blocks from the bottom of how you could be better with your finances is very essential. So you be able to truly be able to manage your money and your resources as best as your ability, and prioritize your financial goals. Because now you could do it. You can have financial goals. You can have goals of how much money you want to save for your emergency fund. You could have a goal of how much money you want to put away for a spa day, or you could have how much money you want to put away for a birthday getaway, or whatever. Because now you don't have that other person constantly in your ear making you feel less than when it comes to what you're going to do with the money that you work hard for to help with the household. It's no longer going to their needs and wants before it even touches your needs. You don't have to do it anymore. You get to put yourself first again in life. And it's very liberating to do. It's gonna be weird at first. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's gonna be weird at first. You're like, oh my God, I have extra money and I could use it on me and no one's going to make me feel bad about it. I could buy a $5 coffee and nobody made me feel stupid for it. Stuff like that. And then you could be able to take proactive steps to achieve your financial goals because no one's holding you back. No one. And you are more than capable of doing it. So I hope this topic of how you can overcome and understand financial abuse has been very helpful to you. I wish you the best. And once again, if you feel as if you have been a victim of financial abuse, go ahead and send me an email in theblackbudget@gmail.com. I have as much time that you need just to be able, if you just want to just lay it out, if you're not sure if you're going through financial abuse, if you are like, I mean, it kind of hits this place, but not that place, or you just need to rant to somebody because maybe it's something that you did hide for your family and your friends, just like I did. At least I thought I was doing a pretty good job, but some people kind of caught on, but they still didn't say anything until I came out and said some things about it, but I am your budget bestie. I want you to always give yourself grace and understand that consistency is key and you belong in the Black family.